Hi and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and I create oracle decks full of heartwarming stories and magical illustrations. If you've been following along, you'll know that I'm deep in the creative process of my second Akashic Records oracle deck. Today I'm painting the first card of the deck, and after a lot of experimenting I finally felt it was time to get clear on the overall theme of the second deck. And I gotta be honest, at first I was just having fun painting scenes inspired by my experiences in nature with plants and flowers that were sprouting at that time. So I was having fun playing around with different scenes, but I knew I had to figure out the underlying story eventually. So let me rewind here for a bit. I think it makes more sense, especially if you haven't followed along what I'm trying to talk about here. So after I finished my first oracle deck, the Witch Cat, I thought the direction for the second deck was pretty obvious. Lotti and Frida, the two Witch Cat sisters, had just moved into the magical property at the Dragon's Nest, and I assumed the second deck would feature all the dragons they would encounter while settling into their new home. But as I explored the world of the Dragon's Nest more, I realized that I wanted to give Frida the same space that Lotti had in the first deck. So Lotti, as you know, is the more spontaneous, chaotic and adventurous one of the two sisters. She's always running into trouble and calling for Frida to bail her out. Frida, on the other hand, is the calm, contemplative sister, the observer, and she holds the quiet wisdom and grounding energy that perfectly complements Lotti's vibrant chaos. Within the first deck, the path of Frida was quite clear. She has a deep love for nature, plants, potions, and learning about the hidden mysteries of the world. But with the second deck, I felt Frida's story deserved to be explored further. She's always evolving, always curious about the world, the stars, and the spirit realm. She shares her knowledge with compassion, and in this deck, she's stepping more fully into her role as she's becoming the Green Witch of the Dragon's Nest. So while I thought I was diving into the dragons of the Dragon's Nest, I realized that the real story I want to tell is Frida's, her evolution, her connection to the earth, and her journey to embrace the magic that flows through her. This deck is about her. And I'm so glad and so happy that I changed the direction the second deck is taking. The theme of Frida's becoming, her unfolding journey as she follows the path of her soul, is something I deeply resonate with. As an Akashic Records medium and mentor, I often get asked about the purpose of the people I read for. And I truly feel that this deck can serve as an incredible companion on that journey, helping you uncover your own purpose in life. Frida, on the one hand, is the perfect example of someone who follows her passions wholeheartedly. She trusts that the path of the soul will reveal itself when listening to that inner calling. And what's especially beautiful is how Lotti's journey contrasts with this. While Frida's purpose is quite clear to her, with her connection to nature and her interest surrounding herbs, potions, and ancient wisdom, Lotti, on the other hand, is still finding her way in the world of possibilities. And we just touched on this one in the first deck, but in the second one, we'll explore Lotti's path in more depth as well. And for everyone who feels like Lotti, unsure of where they're meant to go, I hope this story shows that it's okay to not have everything figured out. You don't need to know all the answers. When you follow what brings you joy, the path reveals itself step by step. For Lotti and for myself, we're still not 100% sure of where the path is taking us in regards to her soul's purpose. But with Lotti's love for flying, running, and everything that screams action and adventure, I can see her becoming a dragon tutor, preparing them for the world beyond the Dragon's Nest. And with that, I want to show others who feel like Lotti, unsure of their soul's path, how beautiful it can be to be guided by joy. Engaging with the things that light you up will lead you to your true calling. Slowly but surely, the path will reveal itself, and how freeing it can be to know you only have to go one step at a time. So yes, I'm very excited that I finally got around to setting the plot for this new Oracle deck, and I love how the first card is turning out. I would love to share the story behind it with you, and I hope you're as excited as I am to dive into the world of these characters and their journey. So lean back, get cozy, and enjoy the story of the day when the Hydra hatched. It was one of those mornings when everything seemed to have a mind of its own. A short while ago, Lotti and I had moved into the Dragon's Nest, a magical place full of wonder and, admittedly, also some various levels of confusion. We had no idea what we were truly stepping into, but this day of all days held an important key for us. This day was the proof we needed to be assured we were exactly where we were meant to be. To tell the story of this day, we have to backtrack just a little bit. It all began with the discovery of the Hydra egg a couple of days after our move. Not your average garden find, mind you. It was a massive thing, its surface glowing softly under the warm sunlight. At first, we didn't know what to do with it, so we did what felt the most natural to us. We treated it like a trusted friend, bringing it along with us as we went about our daily chores, hoping the normality of our daily routines would somehow take away some of the anxiety we were feeling toward the soon-to-be-born Hydra. Not to mention the full-grown, multi-headed beast it could grow into someday. As the days passed, the egg slowly began to shift. One day, it nearly rolled off the washing machine. The machine was off, of course. We tried to ignore it, but we could feel our own nervous energy filling the air. We knew it wouldn't be long before the egg cracked open, and we had absolutely no idea what to do or even how to assist. And then things started to get real. That's when the actual story begins. I was minding my own business, trimming the herbs as one does, when Lotti suddenly barged in, looking as frantic as a cat who's been dumped into a tank of water. "It's happening," she said, her eyes wide. "The Hydra is making sounds through the eggshell." Behind her, she dragged in the egg on a blanket she pulled over the floor, pointing dramatically at the moving egg. Startled, I dropped a whole jar of dried mint leaves, spilling them all over the kitchen floor. Typical. That's when we found ourselves standing in the kitchen, our mismatched little family of friends and siblings gathered around. Everything was set up for something. We weren't sure what. My cauldron was bubbling with water, prepared for something unknown, while our garden tools were scattered on the table. What were they even for? We weren't sure. We even had a fire going, but the egg was the focus. We heard tiny peeping sounds coming from within, and we felt the urgent need to help the baby. But what to do? In a flurry of chaos, Lotti, still in her pajamas of course, decided the best course of action was to stoke an even bigger fire in the middle of the kitchen. She threw wood onto the flames like she was starting a bonfire at a picnic, wearing heat gloves adorned with tiny strawberries, her hair flying everywhere. Meanwhile, I didn't know what to do. My mind was racing, but my body somehow went silent. In a performance of habit, I put the kettle on to brew some chamomile tea, just in case we needed it. The fire grew almost as high as we were, Lotti frantically adding more logs to the fire. Ebo screaming in such high tones not even a dog would be able to understand. I couldn't help but wonder if we were about to burn down the kitchen or bring about the dawn of the apocalypse. And then, in a moment of what looked to me like absolute madness, Lotti hurled the egg into the dancing flames of the fire. My heart stopped as I watched the egg being eaten by the flames. But the most unexpected thing happened. The skin of the egg cracked and broke in two, and there it was, the three-headed baby dragon, looking incredibly surprised to be born, surrounded by dancing flames. I didn't even hesitate. I grabbed the little creature and blobbed it into the cooling cauldron, adding chamomile and sprinkling herbs to do something. Looking back now, I can see the miracle. The egg had needed the fire to crack open, and the baby dragon needed to be welcomed to Earth by water. And by pure intuition, Lotti and I had done the exact right thing, working as a perfect team for the job. I remember looking over at Lotti, my chest heaving with every breath. "See?" I said, craziness creeping into my completely flooded brain. "Totally nailed it, no sweat." Lotti grinned, looking as disheveled as I felt. The help was easy, all we need is more fire next time. We grinned like two mad cats and Ebo pretended to faint. In the end, it was the reassurance we needed. We weren't sure if we were ready to be the witches of the dragon's nest, not all the way down. But this experience proved that we were capable of more than we thought. We trusted our instincts, followed our hearts, and most importantly, we didn't panic much. So it was so much fun to write this story, and I hope that you enjoyed it just as I did. So the card isn't all finished yet. I want to layer it even further and add more shadows to give the painting more depth. But this is how the painting's looking so far. And if you want to know how the second deck evolves, please don't hesitate and follow this channel. And also if you liked the content, and hey, you're still here, so please give me a little support and show some love and hit the like button. And I am so happy that you've spent this time with me. I loved to have you here with me. Wherever you are, I hope that you have a wonderful time. I'm seeing you soon and I'm wishing you all the best. See you. Bye bye. Mwah.
Ya dejaste de soñar, cansada de andar, de no poder parar. Tus ojos se ven tristes, ya no sirve ni llorar. El sol y te iluminará. Las nubes se irán y todo cambiará. Dime a dónde vas y en qué pensar. ¿Cuánto más vas a aguantar para poder respirar? El frío de la noche ya no lo sientes más.